Hello students, my name is Bhavna Singh. I am working as an assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is an online tutorial series on e-commerce. So let's begin today's session. Students, in today's lecture we will discuss about these topics, that is inter-organizational value chains, what are the benefits of inter-organizational value chain, what is strategic business unit chains, what are the various features and characteristics of strategic business unit chains, and then we will discuss about the industrial value chains. Now the first topic is inter-organizational value chain. It is a system between organizations and it helps to better manage buyer-supplier relationship by encompassing the full depth of tasks associated with business processes company wide. That means this inter-organizational, it is occurring between two or more companies. Inter means which is between the two companies or two organizations, and they both of these companies, or you can say two or more companies, they are collaborating with each other, they are cooperating with each other, so that so that there will be a flow of information between these organizations, and they can reach a expected supply chain management, and they can be able to deliver all the raw materials and deliver all the services and goods between these organizations. And all these activities, they will help an organization to increase their productivity, and therefore they can be able to maintain an effective communication between all these organizations, like between the suppliers and the manufacturer, like between manufacturer and the distributors. So all these manufacturer, distributor, suppliers, these are maintaining an inter-organizational value chains. That is, one company is supplying and the other is distributing to the distributors. So by maintaining all these activities, by regulating all these activities, they are able to increase their productivity. In this diagram also you can see that the raw materials that are supplied through the backward channel from the suppliers to the business organizations, and inside the business organization the operation takes place on these raw materials, and these raw materials, they are processed and then they are distributed to the distributors, from where they are distributed to the end customers, and the distribution is occurring through the forward channel. So this entire system, from suppliers to the distributors and then to the end customers, this is all an inter-organizational value chain, because it is occurring between multiple organizations, between two or more organizations or companies. So therefore we can say that the suppliers that are uh, supplying the raw materials to the organizations, they are forming the supply chain, and the organizations, after processing on these raw materials and converting them into the finished products and then finally distributing it to the customers, then they are forming the distribution chain. And this entire value chain, it consists of the supply chain as well as the distribution chain. Now these are the different parts of the value chain. The first one is the suppliers. Suppliers are the companies which supply the raw materials to the organization or to any company. Then we have the firm. Firm is basically the organization or the company inside where the transformation of raw material is taking place. That means we are converting the raw material into the finished product. So firm is basically the company. Then we have the two types of channels, that is the backward channel and forward channel. Backward channel, it composed of the companies that are providing raw materials or other forms of any input, you can say, for the companies to undertake its value creation process. That means all those suppliers that are or that are delivering their raw materials to the firms or to the various companies, or they are providing the inputs to various companies, so that they'll be able to convert these raw materials into the finished product, and thus they will be able to increase its value. So this all composed of the backward channel. Then the second one is the forward channel. Forward channel, it includes all the organizations that are acting as a distributors, or you can say the transportations, and they are providing the delivery from the manufacturing industry to the ultimate users. That means they are providing the finished products from the company to the end users. So this is forming a forward channel. Then we have the buyer. Buyer are the ultimate customers which receives the final product. And then we have the distribution chain. Distribution chain, it is covering all the parties that are directly or indirectly enrolled with moving, or you can say the transporting the product from its origin, that is from the company, to the final customers or to the various retailers. So this is forming a distribution chain. And we have the supplier chain. Supplier chain is the which is between the suppliers and the manufacturing industry. So distribution chain is between the manufacturing industry and the end customers, and supplier chain is between the suppliers and the manufacturing industries. Now let us understand the difference between interorganizational and intra-organizational value chains. Interorganization means between two organizations. Therefore, interorganizational procedures, they occur when two or more organizations join together and share information or collaborate. This means that interorganization is between the two organizations, or you can say between the multiple organizations. But when we talk about the intra-organizational, it means within an organization. This would mean that the people or departments within an organization are working together or collaborating. This means that within the inter-organization, multiple companies or two or more companies, they are collaborating with each other and they join together to share the information or to pass the various goods and services. So all these reasons are, and they can be able to compete with other businesses for that are creating competitions. So this might include that they can work together to enter new markets, or they can collaborate with each other to develop new techniques and new technologies, so that it will be beneficial for both the companies. But when we talk about this intra-organizational means within an organization. For example, within an organization there are multiple departments like finance department, marketing department. So all these departments, they are working together with each other to ensure that the organization's goals are being met. So in case of intra-organizational, different departments, they are working together inside the organization only for the benefit of the entire organization. But in case of inter-organizational, two or more companies or two or more organizations, they are collaborating with each other, they are joining with each other in order to make profit for both the companies. Now we will discuss the benefits of inter-organizational value chains. The first one is, it reduces the risk in the organization. That means every business, whether they are any manufacturing industry or supplier industry, every business, they faces some failures, or you can say some risk during the initial phases of their production. But these inter-organizational value chain systems, they provide a continuous check and balances on these risks that will provide the company accountable and avoid all these kinds of operational risk. So they make sure that every aspect of the business is continuously watched. Then the second is, it benefits from the exchange of technologies. That means technology, or you can say new techniques and tools, they can be exchanged easily between these companies, and they will encourage their developers to develop new products and programs. So when one company, it implements or uses a new technology, then it will ultimately provide benefit to the partner company, because both of them, they are collaborating with each other and both of them, they are working together. So if one uses some new tools and techniques, then it will ultimately benefit the partner company also. Then the third is increased competitiveness. Increased competitiveness means that the companies that are in the inter-organizational value chains, they have more efficient supply chain relationships with each other, so which will help them to create more competition and encourage other business partners to begin working together, or to begin their companies, or to join their companies and work together. So the more competition available, the better products and the services they will be offered, and the fairer prices will be offered to the public. Then the next benefit is, it encourages global communication. See what happens when the company, they start the business for the first time, they will implement their system at the local level. But when they start understanding their capacity for the interorganizational systems, and they get to know about the market systems and all, so they can implement new technical tools also, they can hire new employees, and they will seek to incorporate more businesses at a national as well as the global level. So the wider their network will be, it will increase their productivity also. Now the next is efficient supply chain management. See, supply chain management means the network between the interconnected companies that will depend upon one another to deliver the product or to deliver the services, or you can say to deliver the raw materials. So when these interorganizational companies, they collaborate with each other, they join together, so it will help them to communicate between these interconnected businesses, so that all the information can be flowed easily and with the minimal operation, you can say, or minimal manual operations. Now our next topic is strategic business unit chains. A strategic business unit chain is also known as SBU. It is a fully functional unit of a business that has its own vision and mission. That means these strategic business unit chains, or SBU, these are the independent functional units of a large corporation, you can say, of a large companies. These are the independent units that are responsible for their own targets, and they are responsible for their own operations and profit. So these, they operate as a separate unit only, but they are important part of the company, and they have to report to their headquarters, or you can say the head branch, for their about their operational status. So let's understand this with the help of an example. For example, there is a big company like LG, and this LG, it makes refrigerators also, it makes washing machines also, it makes televisions also, AC also. So these companies, these big companies, they have large different product categories under one roof. So this is the example of SBU. That means LG is the largest company, or LG is the large company which is having multiple branches, and all of these branches, or you can say all of these business units, they are maintaining their own profits, and they are responsible for their own operational status. So that means ultimately they are working as an independent unit. That means refrigerator, the company, or you can say the branch that is responsible for making refrigerators, only one company is responsible for making washing machines only. So all these companies, they are working as a separate units, you can say, or as a separate branch, but ultimately they have to report to the head company, that is the main branch, that is the LG company. And once a unit is given as a strategic business unit chain, then status, then it can make its own decisions, it can make its own budgets, investments, all these things, and they can form as a separate unit, or you can say small unit, that will be responsible for their own revenues, for their own profits, and all these cost, revenue, profit, they can be tracked independently. Now, this is an example of the strategic business unit chain. That is, it has three levels. There are three levels in this SBU. The first, that is the corporate headquarters, or the parent corporation. You can say the parent branch or the headquarter. It remains at the top level. Then the strategic business units, it remains at the middle level, and the next is the divisions, that is the various departments of inside each SBU, they remains at the bottom. So divisions, like these departments within each SBU, they are associated with each other, and these strategic business unit groups, they are independent of each other, and they work as an independent business. So as you can see in this diagram also, that each strategic business unit has different departments like research and development, logistics, production, sales, marketing, finance. So each of these SBU is having their own departments, and all these strategic business units, they are reporting to the head branch, that is the parent corporation branch. So therefore these SBU, the strategic business units, these are big enough to have their own support functions, like each of them have their HR, each of them have their research and development, sales, marketing, training departments, etc. And they focused on their target market only, and operates independently, but ultimately they reports back to the head branch or the headquarters, that is the parent corporation. Now, these are the features of these strategic business units. First is, they are present in the organizational structure. Second, they are the organizational units without separate legal personality. They utilize product market strategy. Fourth, type of activity performed by them is of crucial and decisive importance for the whole company. That means they are whole and sole responsible. The entire SBU is whole and sole responsible for their own product market, for their own profit, and they are working as an independent entity, and they are working as an separate business units that are responsible for taking their own decisions and for taking their own performing their own activities. So all these are the features of strategic business units. Now, these are the characteristics of strategic business unit. The first is it is a single business or collection of businesses that can be planned separately from the rest of the company. That means they belongs to the parent corporation only, but they individually act as a single unit. They act as a separate business units that are responsible for their own decisions. Then the second is it has its own set of competitors. That means every strategic business unit, it has its own competitors and it has its own markets. Then it has a manager responsible for strategic planning and profit performance. That means every single SBU, every single strategic business unit, they have their own manager who's responsible for doing all the strategic plannings and for doing all the activities, maintaining all the resources, or making all the decisions. So every individual SBU has its own manager. Advantages of SBU. The first is it supports cooperation between the departments of the company which has a similar range of activities. That means all the departments inside the SBU, they are dependent or they are cooperate with each other, they work together. Those departments that have the similar activities or that those are performing the similar kinds of activities and similar kind of workflows, so they cooperate with each other inside the SBU. Then the next is it helps in improvement of strategic management. Next, it helps in improvement of accounting operations, because every individual unit, it is accounting or it is responsible for their own operations and profits and their own accountability. Then every single unit is responsible for their management of their resources, management of their budget, schedule, and their department. So all these things they are doing individually. Then easier planning of activities. Various departments, they can cooperate with each other and they can work with each other, so that easily planning of all the activities can be done and it can be shared among the partners that are working on the similar kinds of activities. But there are certain disadvantages of the strategic business unit also. The first one is difficulty with contact with higher level of management. Second, it may cause of internal tension due to difficult access to internal and external sources of funding. Then the next is it may be the cause of the unclear situation with regard to the management activities. Now next we will discuss the industry value chains. What is a industry value chain? It is composed of all the value creating activities within the industry ending with the completed product delivered to the customer. It starts with the raw material manufacturer and finishes with the delivery of the final product to the customer. That means this industry value chain, it is representing all the processes, all the activities, or you can say all the activities that are adding some values to every step. So all these activities, they are represented by the industrial value chain that is occurring inside the firm, you can say, or that is occurring inside the industry, and at every step some value is added to the some activities. Like it starts with the suppliers which supply the raw materials to the firm through the backward channel, you can say, or through the supply chain. Then after getting these raw materials, these firm, or you can say these manufacturing industry, they transform these raw materials into the finished products, and then they transport these finished products to the distributors with the help of forward channel or with the help of the distribution chain. So after getting these finished products, the distributors, they delivered it to the end customers. So at every step, starting from the suppliers to the distributors, at every step, at every activity, some value is added to the process, some value is added to the product. Therefore we are calling as it is a industry value chains. That means how the value chain is occurring inside the industry, how the value is added to the product inside the industry. So this is depicted by the industry value chains, which starts with the raw material that is supplied by the suppliers and it ends to the final product that is delivered to the customers. Now these are the important questions that can be framed based on today's session. The first is, what is strategic business unit chain? Explain its characteristics and advantages. The second question is, how inter-organizational value chains are beneficial for various companies. In this question you have to explain all the benefits of the inter-organizational systems, that how they provide benefit to various companies that are collaborating or that are working together with each other. So students, now we are ending this session here only. I hope you have understood the concepts well that we have studied in today's session. In the next session, we will continue with the intellectual property and copyrights. Thank you so much for watching.